Welcome to the extended edition to Broken Record Chronicles. I broadcast a earlier video this morning and I talked about this issue of crime in America, and that's basically what the Broken Record Chronicles is all about. I talk about in nauseum the issue of crime to the degree that it sounds like a broken record. So I will continually do that and keep coming at you with various opinions or my opinions about what crime has done to America, what it is for America right now, how we as a country are looking at it with an attempt to do battle with crime. And that's why I was thinking about this after I completed my broadcast. One of the things that I thought about was crime, in particularly in the Black community. Most of the crime that I am privy to via the media, especially the morning news and the evening news, is occurring in the Black community. I'm in my studio in the 906 Media Studio down here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm from Philadelphia, and I keep a keen eye to most of the crime that occurs in either this city or the city of Philadelphia, and again, in particularly in the Black community. And so, as I thought about this, I said, well, why is it that members of our community are so indifferent to this issue of crime as if it's really no big deal to them? And one of the things that I thought about was the fact that, we as Black people look at crime from a different perspective than the rest of America. And I think we look at it, and this may be a very controversial statement, but we look at it as something that is, a staple in our community. Crime happens. That's what we do in the Black community. We commit crime, and crime is of no consequence. It's of no big deal to us, and we just are really nonchalant when it comes to crime. That's why you don't see a whole lot of Black people up in arms about it. We take on this whole mantra of when crime does occur in our community and the police come and try to do an investigation, we don't even tell the police about what happens. We don't talk to law enforcement about crime that occurs either in our families or in our community, because we have this whole "we don't snitch" mantra and "we don't snitch" rule in the Black community. So we kind of keep it to ourselves. It's the same as if, when people say to you, what happens in this house stays in this house. Nobody needs to know. And so, what happens in the Black community stays in the Black community and nobody really needs to know. But the idea that you take that stance puts us in a position of having more criminals out there who continually commit crime. And it's ridiculous for us as Black people to take this whole nonchalant attitude about crime being committed in our community, because we, in more cases than not, become the victims. But even in that, when we do become the victims, people don't care about that. As long as it don't fall on their doorstep, and as long as it don't occur to anyone that they know or any relatives or anyone near and dear to their heart, they can care less. It ain't done. So what? It happens to the other person. And guess what? That's just what happens in the hood. That's just, what you have to put up with and what you have to deal with when you live in the hood. And so this whole "I don't give a shit" attitude just proliferates itself throughout every Black community in America. And the result is what we get. And so earlier I talked about, law enforcement or the powers that be not being able to do a damn thing about ratcheting crime down, because it's not about the crime, it's about the attitudes of the people who are committing the crimes. Well, I'm taking it a step further by saying it's just not about the attitudes of the people who are committing the crime. It's also about the attitudes of the people who the crimes are being committed against. Because if their whole mindset is nonchalant and not caring and not wanting to cooperate with law enforcement with regards to trying to get these crimes solved, then you got the triple down effect. You got the effect of the criminals committing crime, knowing ain't nothing going to be known, nothing is not going to be done about it. You got the citizens who are the victims of the crimes that have this nonchalant attitude that says, if it's not anybody I know, if it doesn't happen to me, then I'm not worrying about it. And then you have law enforcement saying, hey, all we're going to do is just stand by and scrape up the folks from the sidewalk when the crimes are being committed. We're not going to take a concentrated effort on trying to prevent crimes, because why should we? If people don't care about it, why should we? And so that's where we are. We're in a situation where you got groups of people who just really don't care. And when you talk about the analyzation of crime patterns and crime that occurs in the Black community, no one really approaches it from that aspect. We always try to approach it from the preventive side. We always try to approach it from the offside of when the crimes are committed. How can we catch the perpetrators and lock them up? We especially in law enforcement, want to lock our way up out of this situation. And as long as we can do that, hopefully it will scare people and deter people from committing more crime. But obviously that has not worked, because crime continues to occur, crime continues to happen, and we are in a sad state of affairs. And until we as individuals, and I'm talking about the people out there committing the crimes as well as the people out here becoming victims of crimes, as long as we take this stance of and this nonchalant attitude, then crime is just going to get way out of control. And when it gets to the point when it starts to affect America from an economic standpoint, then something will be done about it. Because this country is a capitalistic society, and I'm going to talk about later on in some of my videos how crime is attached to economics, and how the powers to be have capitalized on it, and to a large degree don't really care that we commit crimes, because they are making money, they are creating jobs, they are giving people opportunities based on the backs of poor, disenfranchised, and people being victims of crimes. And so that's another video for another day. But again, if we don't get on top of this, it's going to just spiral out of control. I'm Rob Bell. I am the president and publisher of 906 Media Productions and K9 Books. And continue to watch my videos and hopefully give me an opinion on how you feel about the things that I talk about. Have a great day.